And so, as the world turns, so does continue the ebb and flow of corporate arrogance. Something that I predicted when Sony began to soften its image from that old PS3 era of if you can't afford our console, get a second job, then you'll be able to afford it. That then slowly started to become for the players, and now with double the console sales of their next competitor, Xbox, they're dominating and expressing that dominance through anti-consumer and anti-gamer maneuvers, such as preventing crossplay between platforms on Fortnite. Before this, last year, it was Minecraft when they released their Play Together or Build Together update. And at that time, it got some traction, but mostly people, I think, were kind of like, maybe Sony will come around on this. Like, maybe they'll change their ways. And that's kind of how the executives seemed to approach it. They were like, we're not completely opposed to the idea. We're just worried about a few things internally and like how players will interact with each other and the safety of children and all this. At the same time, people were thinking, but Nintendo's allowing it? That's weird that they would and you wouldn't, because Nintendo's like, I still can't get over the fact that Nintendo's allowing crossplay between Xbox, PC, and Switch players on Fortnite. And now Sony's the odd man out. Just like when Sony was able to smack down Microsoft for its always-on DRM online 5 years ago, that was, and look like the winner and the ultimate champion of gamers, and then continue to go on and seemingly win E3 for years afterwards. And then who knows how much effect that had on sales. But if it had some effect, then, it was just an extra little bit on top of the mountain of their console sales. This year, now Microsoft has this chance to do the exact same to Sony, but maybe the timing was off. Maybe the timing just didn't quite work the same way because Sony was so lucky the last year to be the last one of that conference as the controversy of always on DRM came to a head. They were able to deliver that killing blow at just the right moment. It's almost maybe a shame that Xbox, as this controversy this year with always on, a lack of crossplay between Fortnite, it's starting to get louder. I feel like people are angry about this. It's almost unfortunate that Microsoft didn't get a chance, that their conference was first and that E3 is already fully in 2 days in. But I hope that Microsoft takes this opportunity to really make Sony look like Microsoft should make Sony look like the bad guy here. And why that's a positive thing. It's not just console wars and them versus them and joining a team and cheering for one or the other and like watching your wrestler do a body slam on somebody. The reason is like I said before, this is pro-consumer. If somehow Microsoft can make Sony look so bad and look like the good guy here, Sony may have no choice but to open up crossplay, which is positive for everybody. Who doesn't want to play with everyone that they know, regardless of the console that they bought? We can understand why Sony's doing this. If you have an ecosystem and you have the biggest player base, and you perceive yourself as the winner, as the leader, or the leader in the system, the console player base wars, like install base is what they call it, then you want to maintain that. And by maintaining that, you can maintain that by saying that, like, my buddy has a PS4, and if I want to play with him on Fortnite, I have to get a PS4 instead of an Xbox. That is what we can guess is their backwards weird thinking strategy on this, but it's not going to work. Mainly because of Nintendo. It's kind of funny how Nintendo, the non-competitor out of the two, the one that wants to be the side system that you buy regardless of the two powerful consoles that you buy, they're the ones that are making Sony look like the bad guy here. Because if Microsoft had just allowed crossplay between Microsoft and Xbox and PC, everybody would be like, well, of course, And if Sony said, no, we don't want people to play with Xbox people would be like, yeah, I guess that makes sense. Like, that's what these companies do, right? But the fact that Nintendo's allowing it is really making Sony look bad. I really think they have no choice but to reverse this, because if this continues with the most popular game currently, people are playing Fortnite, the rabble may get deafening, I think. And again, I think that that's only a positive thing if rabble can change the ways that companies work and if they can make compromises based on that. It's kind of funny watching this as people are after accusing Sony of a lackluster showing at E3 in their press conference, and now this. I am expecting backlash. I think that because I've always been one to call out bullshit as I perceive it. Microsoft has been the purveyor, the vendor of bullshit, in my opinion, for some time. They have the stuffiest, most corporate, most unfriendly approach, in my opinion. And so I feel as though because of that, the side effect is that I have bolstered or like grown a viewer base that has chosen Sony as their console and maybe has always had Sony as their console, PlayStations as their console, and now they may see this show as a PlayStation safe space that, you know, Sony can do no wrong on this show. Well, you're fucking wrong. I am not your pundit. I will switch teams based on whoever's doing the best shit for us as gamers. So expect that. And I don't care if you're pissed off about it. Go watch something else, because I am not a Sony fanboy, you fucks. I'm so glad that Sony's doing something finally stupid and wrong so I can call it out. So I can prove that I'm not a fucking Sony shill. They just weren't doing anything wrong till now. That's a side rant. Just wanted to toss that in there. Alright guys, our final E3 show is coming up here in Vancouver. Our final show here in Vancouver is on Sunday. I'll make a separate announcement front-loaded so everybody knows about that one. Sunday at, I think, 1 p.m. But I'll make an official announcement later that you can be verified for sure. Thanks for listening. Change your ways, Sony, you motherfucks. Alright, thanks for watching.